Welcome back, everybody. It's January and it's frigid, but we're going to get busy in the kitchen. We've got our oven on, so hopefully that'll warm it up a little bit. But what we're making today is a really tasty, flavorful chicken dish. I love lemon and chicken. I've got a rosemary chicken recipe. I need to look and see if I've done that one yet. If I haven't, I need to get busy because it's good too. But there's something about lemon and chicken together that I really like a lot, and my customers seem to like a lot. So this dish is simply lemon chicken. Yeah, basic, easy. Nothing really in the ingredients that most people don't have around, except maybe a fresh lemon. And you can use bottled lemon juice, but it's not going to have the same punch. I definitely would not use the green, real lemon juice. That stuff's not real lemon, and it's not going to be anywhere near the flavor that you're going to get out of fresh lemons. But if you've got a good quality, organic, pure lemon juice bottled, then that should work pretty good. But again, fresh is best. So I'm going to flip the camera down and we're going to get going. This is super easy. We broil the chicken, which that can't get any easier. Make a light lemon sauce. It gets tossed on the chicken. Then we reduce the sauce a little bit, put it back on the chicken, and that's it. I mean, yeah. See, that's how simple this is. It's a good one to prep ahead because you can make the sauce, have it in the fridge. Then you're literally broiling, topping, serving. Very good. So hold tight. We're going to flip the camera around and get busy. Okay, so what we've got is a little piece of a feather on my chicken. That was a bonus. The recipe calls for 6 bone-in thighs. It serves 6. I had a couple of packages of a package of leg quarters with a couple of leg quarters in it, so that's what I'm doing. All that means is I'm going to have a little extra sauce, which doesn't hurt my feelings at all. So you can either, back your chicken down just a tiny bit like I did. You can even back your sauce down a little bit, but I'm like, I like the sauce. It's good, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you put your chicken in a pan and it's going to go in the oven on 450 for about 40 minutes. You're going to flip it once. So usually what I do is I'll put it in for about 15, flip it, give it 15, and then check and see, is the chicken done? And the best way to do that is kind of to pierce next to the bone and make sure the juice that's running out is clear. Then it's just the juice from the chicken. There's no blood. There's nothing that hasn't been cooked all the way through. So that's all we're going to do here. I'm waiting for my oven to preheat. I'll set that to the side. And we'll work on making the sauce. Oh, there's a little tiny piece of lemon seed. So we need a cup of lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice is preferred, as I mentioned. So I've got some beautiful Meyer lemons that were grown in South Louisiana, and they are the juiciest things in the world. So I know I've showed y'all this little squeezer that I've got. Super handy. I have one for lemons and one for limes. I want to say I paid like maybe $10 for it at the restaurant supply store, and it will juice a lemon and a lime like nobody's business. You just put it in there and squeeze it out. And like I mentioned, I'd already juiced a couple. Ooh. And these lemons are so juicy. If the skin gets above the little edge, it'll spew juice, like just happened. And I don't know if y'all could see that on the video. But these big old lemons, it's taken about 3 is all it's going to take to get me a full cup. Usually you can estimate your typical lemons are going to be about 1/4 cup of juice. God, these things are squirting everywhere. They're so juicy. But these were really big and really juicy. All right, so that's that. There's my quarter cup, my 1 cup of juice. Now, the next thing the recipe calls for is a cup of oil. Now, I don't think I need to give my little speech about oils and quality and all that kind of stuff. You can use lard. You could use avocado oil. I'm going to use bacon grease just because I love it so much. Now, when I measure it and put it in here, it's because this is cold. The lemons were in the fridge. it's going to glob up and be little blobs like saturated fats do. They solidify when they're cold. But as soon as I put this on top of hot chicken that has just come out of the oven broiling, that fat's going to melt and it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to grab that and we'll finish mixing up what we need in here. And then this just sits, oh, there's my oven, until the chicken's finished broiling. Okay, y'all are truly going to laugh when you see how easy this is. So this is my bacon grease. I just let it, heated it up a tiny bit. It's not hot, but I got it warm enough that it would liquefy. So we need a half a cup of that. And like I said, you could use avocado oil or lard. Bacon grease just gives it a nice flavor. And then we're going to need, let me get my garlic, kind of doing this out of order, but you need a teaspoon of minced garlic. So y'all have seen my little jars of roasted minced garlic 1,000 times, so that's what that is. And I'm just going to make sure it's minced up really, really good. We'll just drop that down in our lemon juice. Then we need a teaspoon and a half of red wine vinegar. Now, this is a really fantastic brand, and if you got a good brand, you see that sediment on the bottom. I started shaking it to break it up and then thought, oh, let me tell y'all about this. Any really quality vinegars or sauces, good quality real soy sauce is going to have sediment that's going to get in the bottom of the bottle and set up. So I always shake mine really well to try and get all of that out. Because you don't want to lose any of that. That's all good stuff. All right, we need a teaspoon and a half of red wine vinegar. So there's my teaspoon, and here's my half. Okay, see how hard this is so far? So we got lemon juice, our oil, our red wine vinegar, our garlic, and then we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. Put that in there. And then it's, quote unquote, salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to do about a half teaspoon to start with. And I say to start with, I'm not tasting that because that's way too much lemon to drink directly or sample directly. So I'm going to do a half teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then just kind of mix this around, get my garlic broken up. I couldn't remember what it was called. Smells good. If y'all like lemon, you'll love this dish. All right, and then we're going to add in our oil. And it's got all the little bits that, you get in the bottom of your pan when you're frying bacon. And that's all good, too. That's just some good flavor. So, hold that second. And you're just going to whisk this up. And, I mean, that's all there is to the sauce. That's it. So, if you're making it ahead of time, and the sauce that is, and you're using a saturated fat, I wouldn't add the bacon grease or the lard because you're going to pop this in the refrigerator. So mix your oil, your seasonings, stick it in the fridge in a jar. Then when you're getting ready to do your chicken, get it in the oven, pull that out, add your fat, and it's ready to go. And then once the chicken comes out of the oven, we're just going to put it in a bowl. It's, one that's as flat as possible to give more surface area and not, curved up too much. Pour the sauce over it, toss it to get it coated. Stick the chicken back in the oven for just a couple more minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes, and then take it out and we'll pour our sauce off into a saucepan and reduce it for just a minute or two. And then you pour that thickened sauce back on your chicken, and that is your dinner, and that is lemon chicken. And y'all, it's some good stuff. So we'll come back and just show those couple little steps, and that's all there is to it. But stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, so I took the chicken out of the oven, and I'll show you, I cut into this thigh. Hopefully you can see this. But see, there's no blood running, just clear juice. So this chicken is done. So I'm going to flip it back over. And this is funny. I don't know why this happens. I've had it happen. Well, I kind of have a theory. When I cut the leg quarters apart, I cut through the cartilage that was holding the muscle, the meat, to the bone up here. So as it cooks and it draws up, which meat does when it cooks, it pulled away from the bone. It's very funny looking. I've had this happen before. I guess I get a little overzealous with my cutting. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our chicken into this bowl. This looks almost like kind of the old, or not old, but the fancy lollipop chicken that you cut it off and then you squeeze it all to the top, so it's like a little ball of chicken meat on a bone. It's an Asian thing, but mine's in reverse, a reverse lollipop. All right, so we're going to put this over here, and this little bit of chicken fat and goodie in there is going nowhere. I am keeping that in my pan. Let me move this guy because it is 450 degrees and I don't feel like torturing my fingers. Okay, so put this over here. Now we've got our lemon sauce. Remember that we did just, remember, 2 seconds ago for you. It's been a few minutes for me. So we're just going to pour this over the chicken and make sure it gets coated really, really well. And kind of turn the chicken around in the marinade. My mouth's watering and it's ridiculous. And it smells so dadgum good. All right, so you just want to, turn it, get it really good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in the oven because the chicken's cooked. So now we're just kind of cooking the juice on. Oh, I'm messing my skin up. So let me get this pan back over here. It's a baking dish. And this time I'm going to put its skin up because we're going to put it in there. And I'm going to actually turn my broiler on. The temperature on low. It's not going to be that much different, but it'll help give that skin a nice crisp up texture. All right, so this is going to go back in the oven for a few minutes. About 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to flip it, give it another minute or two, then it'll come out. And then, well, while that's happening, I'm going to pour this in a pot, I'll talk right in a minute, and get it on the stove, and let it reduce on a high heat for a couple minutes, get my parsley in there. Then when the chicken comes out, you pour it over top, and you are ready to eat. So I'm going to pop this back in the oven, and we'll be right back. Okay, so my chicken's in the oven. It's going to come out in a little less than a minute. This is my lemon sauce, and we're going to add, and I have the wrong measuring spoon. We're going to add our parsley. So if you're using fresh parsley, remember fresh and dried roughly is half and half. Dried is more intense. So I have dried parsley, so I'm going to do 1/4 cup. If you're using fresh, you do 1/2 cup. So I'll put this in here. And I'm going to get my little whisk and just stir this around, and that timer is about to go off. Okay, I flipped my chicken, and then this is just going to sit here, and you want to let it get really good and hot and let it just come to a little bit of a boil, and then let it go for a minute. And then when the chicken comes out in about a minute, we're going to pour this sauce over the chicken, and it is time to eat. So I'm not going to sit here and make y'all wait for a few seconds. We'll just give this a bit, and then we'll get the chicken out and pour it over, and you'll see what the final product looks like. So what we're doing, I just thought I'd come on here and tell you, if you don't know, putting this on a high heat for a minute is evaporating out some of the liquid. So it's going to thicken up the sauce. You don't want it to go too long, but, like I said, a minute is going to do it, and we've got 19 seconds left. If it's still a little thinner, and this is still going to be kind of thin, but if it's still thinner than you'd like it, you could always whisk in a couple of teaspoons of arrowroot, and that'll thicken up your sauce. So it'll be a little more like a glaze than an au jus. Oh, there we go. I'm going to grab the chicken and turn this off. Okay, here's our chicken after it's a couple minutes on a high broil. I still can't get over these lollipop legs. That's too funny. But what we're going to do is just take our sauce that we've reduced down. And remember, I've got more sauce than you will. I mean, I don't have more sauce, but I have more sauce per chicken piece than you will if you have more chicken. I just didn't do quite as much. I didn't do as much chicken, so I have more sauce. But I'm going to do some boiled buttered potatoes, and that with this sauce and the chicken, and then I'm going to steam some vegetables, is going to be a fantastic dinner. So while my thighs or my legs look a little funny, the rest of it looks amazing. And I really encourage y'all to give this one a try. It has got the best flavor ever. So give it a shot. Throw some comments down there. Let me know what you think. If you loved it, you hated it, your family loved it, you're going to make it again, whatever. Just let me know what you think. And we'll see you on the next video.